live. Good morning, you guys. Let me just get my laptop going. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try to pin a message to the top of my chat. My screen is frozen. Okay. This is my laptop over here. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm at my desk in my office. This is where we start our homeschool day. Does anyone even get up this early to do a live? Probably not, but I don't know if you guys noticed that I do things a little bit differently on this channel than the general public does. And I'm walking more in that this year, being myself and bringing my authentic self to this platform. I'm a morning person. I wake up all happy and peppy like this every single morning, to the appreciation of some and frustrations of others in my household. So I'm gonna put a comment over here to welcome people and to encourage people to let me know who they are and pin that. So give me a minute to do that. But good morning. I wasn't sure how this would go so early in the morning, but this is authentically me, you guys. I am like this every morning. And so I thought it might be fun to give you the best of me. And I've also noticed over the years that a lot of people are curious about homeschooling, how I homeschool, people that are not necessarily homeschooling themselves, that are curious about it, and people that are homeschooling and they just want some kind of something to look at to kind of help them figure out how to frame their homeschool. And it's been kind of tricky over the years to try to kind of figure out how to do that on my channel while respecting my children's privacy, because we are not a YouTube celebrity family. We are just regular people who want to share our lives in an authentic way, not throwing shade at anybody, but I'm not here to necessarily create something that's entertaining like a show, like a sitcom, but it's reality TV. I'm just really trying to, share some of what we're going through, in hopes that it might be encouraging to somebody or supportive to somebody or give somebody some kind of direction or instruction. I do this because many times as a young wife, as a young mother, as a young woman, before I was even married, trying to do the right thing, live the right way, grow as a person, I felt like it's been hard to kind of make my way alone. And I've really appreciated the people that have come into my life as mentors, and the people that have come into my life as examples for me to maybe, model and prayerfully see with the Lord whether that's something I might want to adopt. So that's my heart for this channel, and that's my reason for sharing my personal life. But I respect that every member of my family might not have that same burden. So I want to be respectful of my kids, especially now that they're older. My youngest is 11 now, you guys. Teens, when they come into their teens, they're a lot more, their ideas as individuals, concerning YouTube, concerning what I'm doing, concerning what I share, concerning what I don't share. They're a lot more vocal about it. When they were all little, it was just a lot of fun. And oh, mommy's doing a video, I want to be in it. Oh yeah, I want everyone to see what you're doing, with my hair, or with homeschooling, or with whatever. But now that they're older, they might not feel like it. They might not want to be on camera. I have actually one daughter who has not wanted to be on camera at all. But I know that to kind of see what we do has been a highly requested video over the years. And so what I've done is I've sort of kind of positioned the camera so that when my girls come in, if they don't want to be on camera, they won't be. And if they do, they will be. And I will make sure I let them know as they come down the stairs that I'm doing a live. But this is where I start my day, every morning. To be honest, let me take y'all. I'm going to take you with me to the kitchen. I come down, I get up, I get dressed. My goal is to work out or get moving first thing in the morning. And so what I tend to do is I come down here. This is my kitchen. I come down here and I get up. I quietly go, into my closet, and I put on some workout clothes, because my idea is that if I'm dressed the part, I might exercise. But I've learned that, especially with the quarantine, I need to move my body, or else I kind of get stiff. And, neck, shoulders, everything kind of gets tense, and it works better for me if I move my body. So I put on my workout clothes, I come down here, and then I implement my system to try to drink all my water. I know it's crazy. It looks crazy to a lot of people. But I literally bought 6 20-ounce water bottles, because that's about how much water I've learned that my body likes to take. And I literally come down here and I line them up on my counter. And I fill them up. We have filtered water through my refrigerator. And I put them over here. And I find that it's a lot easier for me to drink my water, because every time I finish one, I just grab another one. If I'm running out of the house, I have one ready to go. And if I don't finish it, I know exactly how much water I didn't drink that day. And I don't do it kind of like a law unto myself, but I've just noticed that my body runs better this way. I can know how far off I am from the mark. And sometimes I don't drink all my water. I know some people do this. I don't sit down. This is my water right here. I don't sit down and, if I didn't drink 3 bottles, make myself drink 3 bottles before bed. I don't do that. That's why I'm saying it's not a law onto me, but it's a guide. I'm walking in the dark. I always open my curtains in the morning. It's a guide for me to know, if things are not going right, or I don't feel quite right, or I'm a little parched. I know it's because I didn't drink enough water that day. But I noticed that it just makes me drink my water. I seldom have a day where, I don't drink all of it. At most, there's 1 bottle left. So after I get my water, then I move into the office and I spend time with the Lord. And honestly, that's probably the key to my success as a homeschooling mom, as an individual. You guys know, if you've been following my channel for a long time, I've never made a secret of the fact that I serve Jesus. And so when I wake up in the morning, I spend whatever time, I don't time it. I spend time with the Lord, and I go through. This year, I'm going through a Read the Bible in a Year program that I get off of the Bible app, and every day there's a certain passage of scripture that I read, and I have this notebook. I love these. What are these called? Ray Dunn style notebooks. Not necessarily because they're already done, but I just love like how much lines there are and how small they are. And I use these to take notes as I go through my Bible reading. I love when the house is quiet, when the house is dark and it's just me down here in the morning. Going through my routine. And let me show you something else interesting that I'm doing. Ever since the shutdown and the can't find paper towel back in during that season where we couldn't find paper towels, I implemented, which I had done this a long time ago, this system where you know I went and I bought these cloths. Okay, can I turn this camera right? I bought these cloths from they're like washcloths from from Walmart, you guys, from Walmart, in the section where they sell dishwashing stuff like the dish towels and things like that. They sell a pack of these for really cheap, and so I bought myself a pack, and I keep it rolled up like that in the bathroom. Oh, I should have showed you what this little cabinet looks like. I've done different things. I used to have 2 baskets on the toilet, on top of the toilet, but I changed that and I bought this. It looks like it's like a set of, what is it, 5 drawers. And I keep clean towels rolled up in the first 2, and the second 2, after you use a towel, my girls fold them up and put them in the last 2 drawers. So every morning when I come down here, I wash the dirty towels and I replace them, roll them back up and put them back in the clean drawer. And I do the same thing with my dish towels, which I also now use in lieu of paper towels to, clean the kitchen, dust, do things like that. And I keep those rolled up. So I do that every morning. These little like redundant routines really help me. They really help me when I wake up and I'm in a funk. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but sometimes I wake up and I'm in a funk. I don't have a real reason for being in a funk. I wake up and I have this sense that I don't want to go about my day. I won't call it being sad or depressed, but kind of lacking in purpose. I don't want to do my day. I don't want to go through my routine. I don't want to be bothered. Just having a bad mood, a bad attitude. Okay. Sometimes I can definitely feel that way during that time of the month when people struggle with PMS. I'm not claiming speaking PMS over myself, but we can have these funky moods. And for me, when I can't find a logical reason, when there's nothing really bad going on in my life, I know that it's hormonal for me. And so when I wake up in one of those funky moods, lacking purpose, having these routines that I do, that I get up, I go put on my workout clothes, come downstairs, fill up my water bottles, wash the towels, roll them up, put them back in the drawer. When I do these kind of routines, what I can do is follow the steps. I get up and I tell myself, just follow the steps. And I find that as I follow the steps, I come out of my funk. Okay? As I follow the steps, I come out of my funk. And I'm able to get back on track with homeschooling, get back on track with what I need to do for the day. And I notice that my actions, my emotions will follow my actions. And before I know it, I'm not in a funky mood anymore. Okay. And so I really, some people, people have written books about forming healthy habits and how habits can help you reach your goals, and forming healthy habits to help you, reach your goals. Honestly, guys, this stuff is just biblical. The Bible says for us to lead our feelings and not to be led by our feelings. And that's really what establishing a routine has done for me. So after I, put a load in, I put a load in of those towels, I come in here and I sit down and I grab my app and I write down what I need to read for that day, and I go through it. I fix myself a cup of black coffee. If you guys haven't checked out my videos on, my change in lifestyle, I have videos on intermittent fasting. I also have videos on, perimenopause and some symptoms I noticed I was experiencing, into my 40s. I'm now 48. When I turned 40, I started noticing some changes. And, honestly feel like God inspired me to kind of think about making some dietary changes. I've been absent from Instagram and YouTube this month because this is the month that I do my 21-day fast, and I kind of withdraw from a lot of those things in order to focus on the Lord. I'm almost done with the one I did this year. If you're more interested in that, I have a playlist of my 21-day fast that I did in 2019, where I released the playlist after the fast was over. So, it's not in real time, but the videos were recorded every day in real time. And so, in a sense, you could walk with me through that and see what all of that is. That was a spiritual fast. That's different from intermittent fasting. But I do have a lifestyle of intermittent fasting. It's a mouthful. I prefer to think about it as, if you want to feel good and if you want to maximize what food can do for you, just realize that you can't just throw, you could, but for me, I don't just want to, I have a habit of just mindlessly eating or eating emotionally driven eating, or not paying attention to what I'm eating, or being lazy with myself and just eating the same things all of the time. And I've noticed that as I've moved into perimenopause in this older season of my life, and this might also be true for you as a younger person, I've noticed that it really helps me. If I kind of time or kind of use a little bit more self-control with when I'm eating and what I'm eating. And so I was eating way too much sugar, a real excessive amount of sugar. And so I didn't think it was possible. I used to love extremely sweet coffee, extremely sweet lattes, extremely, if I didn't even like black coffee at all, and now every morning I look forward to my cup of black coffee. It's a testament. I even did a video about how I could never follow a ketogenic diet, which I don't follow a ketogenic diet. But back then, I thought following a ketogenic diet would be impossible for me because I refused to give up sugar. Like I couldn't see how I could give up sugar. To go from that to enjoying, I look forward to, when I don't drink it, I miss black coffee. It's a testament that you can change. Your taste buds can change. And so I come in here with my cup of black coffee and I sit it on this coaster. These are cloth coasters a really sweet friend gifted me with. Some tie-dye, cloth coasters. I set my coffee on that and I do my Bible study every morning. And so right now I am done with my Bible study, and I decided to start this live at the beginning of my actual school day, Right now it is 7:15 in the morning. I've heard my daughter, probably my youngest daughter, her alarm has been going off. Sometimes I'll go into her room and turn it off, but I just want to see. I just want to see what she's going to do. Her alarm has been going off for a while. I don't hear anything now, so she must be up and she must have turned it off. You know, I give them an 8:30 in the morning start time, but I don't police them as they go about their morning. My youngest daughter has to unload the dishwasher. That's her one chore in the morning that she has to do. But I give them the flexibility to get their breakfast. I let them get their own breakfast, to get their breakfast and to get themselves together. As long as they make it in here by 8:30 to start their process, I'm good. And we're seated in this office, but we are not limited and restricted to this office for school. My kids will get up, take their book, go lay across the couch, go sit on the steps, lay across the carpet, sit in the kitchen, get up, go down to the basement. Like they're literally free to be all over the house while they're doing their schoolwork. And they actually both have a desk. Okay, this is my oldest daughter's desk behind me. She has a desktop. Okay. And over here is my youngest daughter's desk. Okay, so my oldest daughter is a sophomore in high school, and my youngest daughter is in 6th grade. And so they both have their own desktops and their own working spaces, you know. And one of the rules that we came up with, these are our class rules. You know, I don't know if you can see right there. These are our handwritten class rules that everybody and their mama who's doing school in my homeschool signed. There it is. That's it. That we came up with the first day of school. One of the rules that we came up with is that they have to, you know, respect one another's workspace and not just, you know, go and mess things up or add their things or move things around. And they do a good job of that. And so we have distinct areas for them. So I got a bookcase, this little bookcase right here. Top shelf has my younger daughter's books. Bottom shelf has my oldest daughter's books. Over here we have the binders with the curriculum and some more books that are for French. But everything has a place, you know, and everybody knows, you know, where they belong and what they're going to do. Okay? So, as you guys can see, there's not a whole lot going on. There's not a whole lot of excitement, especially now after we've really fallen into a routine of doing things. And sometimes this kind of monotony can be peaceful and encouraging to some people, and for other people it can feel boring. It can feel unvaried and kind of like drudgery. So you will have to know yourself and know what works well for you. But I'm calling this a routine more than a schedule, because we don't have specific times where all these things are happening, just that you need to get this done within a certain time frame, you know. And so, you know, you need to know yourself and know what you need. When the libraries were open, I had one daughter who told me she really needed to get out of the house. And so I would allow her to go get a study room at the library and do her work there. This was when she was you know, like a junior in high school. You know, I could drop her off at the library, and I actually dropped her off because we needed to be somewhere else on the days that worked for her, and we needed to be there early in the morning, and the public library didn't open until 10. And I literally dropped her off at the university library. I don't know how it is where you live, but you might want to look into it. As a part of the community, you know, you may be able to have access to your university library, even though you're not a student at the university. And I like university libraries because they're kind of set up for students to work, to do their work there all day, to kind of give them a supplementary place to work other than their dorm rooms. And so a lot of times you can find more comfortable accommodations, less activity, and more quiet when you're working at a university library. And so I used to let my daughter, my older daughter, on her own take her schoolwork and sit at a university library. She didn't feel like she was home, alone, doing her schoolwork. So that can kind of work if your kid is really, extroverted, or even an introvert that needs a change in scenery. And you might need a change in scenery. It's amazing how, for me, a change in scenery can really boost my mood, and kind of break up the redundancy. And so I did that a lot. And so the first thing I do in the morning is I take a look at my planner. This is new for me this year, you guys. I've actually been really blessed by teaching at the umbrella school, because it kind of taught me some structure, or exposed me to some structure that I wasn't exposed to before in all my homeschooling years, even though I've been homeschooling for such a long time. You guys know that my oldest is 23. He'll be 24, this year. And I homeschooled him all the way through. And so I kind of would fly by the seat of my pants, or I would fly with confidence in the curriculum that came with whatever curriculum I was using. So this is Sunlight curriculum. This is their F package, Eastern Hemisphere. This is my sixth graders curriculum this year. And that's Sunlight, S-O-N, light, one word. And so this curriculum comes with a schedule, okay? This is the curriculum schedule for Bible, history and geography, and literature, okay? And so this actually is what my kids follow when they know what they're doing every day. And so I keep track of this curriculum, but in the past, all I would do is have the kids look at their schedule that's in the curriculum. Let me pull it up for you guys again. I would only have them look at the schedule that's in the curriculum, and we would check boxes. And for those of you who are just joining me, hi, my name's Natacha. I'm just taking you along on my homeschool day this morning, and I just wanted to share what I do, and I'm showing you how I go through our schedule. So this is the curriculum that I used to just check boxes, but what I've discovered works so much better for me this year is that we do once a week something I call planning, where we sit with that binder, but we all also have planners that we picked up from the what was it, Staples, okay? We all have planners, and we made sure we got ones that have lines so we can write inside of them. I have a planner, and each of my daughters, I'm trying to see if I could find, I don't know where she put her planner, but my youngest, this is her planner. And so once a week we do what we call planning, where we go through that binder, and then each kid organizes the work for the week however they want to organize it. And it's highlighted because this daughter, the way she lets herself know she's finished with an assignment is that she crosses it off. Okay? So that way we can move things around. We can combine readings, because for some stuff, like for science, especially in sixth grade, they might have 4 pages for her to read, or one day, and then another day they have 4 more pages for her to read. But this daughter loves to read, and so she can get through her reading a lot quicker by combining days. So when we use this, it kind of shows her, where she wants to combine things, how she wants to move things around. And doing this has really helped me to own the curriculum instead of letting the curriculum own me. And when things aren't going right with the curriculum, feeling like I can't change things or feeling like I have to check every single box, in the curriculum. This is a big change that I've not necessarily always been successful with in the past, even though it's been my goal. And I think one of the number one reasons I've been able to be more successful is because I've made us all create our own planner. And we plan for the entire week with all of our activities, well, as many activities as one can have during this shutdown season that we're in. My kids still do a robotics team, and they do that every Friday. And because they meet in person, and because they do the robotics team, we don't run through our school day like this on Fridays. Fridays is a freestyle day where we do robotics from 10 to 3. Okay, they're on two different teams and they kind of overlap. So when it's all said and done, they're working from 10 to 3. And when they come home, whatever work they didn't finish during the week that they had planned to finish on Friday, they finish. But this daughter right here usually plans her week, so she doesn't have any schoolwork at all on Fridays. Now, the curriculum is a 5-day schedule, but because we organize it however we want to organize it in our planner, we can condense things and combine things. So in essence, we really only have 4 structured days, which is the beauty of homeschooling, the flexibility to make it work for whatever it is that you're doing in your life. And so let me put her planner down, because she will know that I move things around the way she has her things organized. So they do that for them, but I do a looser version, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that are in my planner. Like their planner has, read page so-and-so and so-and-so in the history book and answer questions 1 through 10. My planner doesn't look like that. My planner has 1 through 9. My planner has a list, okay, 1 through 9. And I'm a creature of habit, so I like to repeat what I do in the same order. Like I said, since I'm prone sometimes to get up in a funky mood, if I just follow the pattern, I find that I get back on track. You might be different. You need to come up with what works for you, okay? But it's your homeschool. I've said this in many videos. Homeschool is not trying to bring a private school into your house and trying to bring, the public school into your house and trying to do things, recreate the classroom in your house. Homeschool is you working with your kids to reach academic and spiritual and family and whatever you want to put in there goals together based on what you know how to do, and with special care and understanding to the tendencies and the strengths and weaknesses of your own kid, however that works. That's how I've come, to see homeschool. So sometimes I do, whatever it is that I'm teaching. Sometimes I teach it myself. Sometimes I employ other resources to help me teach whatever it is that I need to teach. I have math using a video program. I use Math UC for my youngest, and I use for my sophomore in high school, and I use a Becca for my 6th grader, because math is not my thing. I don't enjoy teaching math. I don't necessarily think in a mathematical way, and so I find that I have a hard time. I usually have one bag of tricks, and if they don't get it, if they can't follow that bag of tricks, I don't have anything else, and it's frustrating and it's a struggle, and I'm slow in trying to figure out how to put it together. That might not be your story. You might be great at math. Maybe you don't know how to teach writing. You struggle to teach writing. This is a wonderful season to homeschool. This is a wonderful time to homeschool because there are endless resources you can use. The only limitation is this. What you think you can do, how you think you can manipulate things, how you think you can change things. At least that was the limitation for me. And so I get up and I look at my list. And when we have planning once a week, They do their list, they do their plan, I do my list. Good morning, Susan. Oh, Susan from Toll. Is it you from Toll? Oh my God, I'm so, if this is you from Toll, I am excited. Toll, she is from, Susan is a fellow teacher from the umbrella school that we were teaching in at Toll. I'm so excited to catch you on a live. I've missed you so much. I don't know if you know, but I'm not working at Toll right now. I just, because of everything, what all has happened. Oh, yeah, and it's Sue. Don't you know why Dad put Susan? Okay, sorry, Sue. But because of everything that's going on, and 1 minute we're open, 1 minute we're shut, 1 minute we're teaching in real time, and 1 minute we're virtual, I decided to eliminate that stress for my family. So I've been working independently at home this year with my kids. And so I'm just sharing our school day this morning. So I'm excited to see you, Susan. But I was talking about how, having a schedule and having a routine really, really helps me. And so I'm just sharing what my routine is, because I used to fly by the seat of my pants before, and this year I've learned how much better it is to have this. And when I wake up and I don't feel like homeschooling, when I wake up and I feel like I don't know what to do, what do I do next? When my kids don't have confidence in me that I know what I'm doing because I'm losing it because I don't know what to do next, or I don't feel like doing what's next, I find that this helps me. And I just wanted to share some of the things that are on my list. Okay. Number one, Bible and exercise. Let's be realistic. Let me tell you. Hey, my youngest is here, but let me tell her what we doing. She's out here. She's in the hall, but I'm gonna tell her, don't come in yet. I'm doing a live. So the camera's not pointed towards you. But so if you don't want to say hey, you don't have to say hey yet. If you want to say hey, you can say hey, because I'm respecting their privacy. I'm not promising they're going to be in this video if they don't want to be, But my youngest, you want to say hey?
I look terrible right now.
You never look terrible. She's saying she looks terrible. She don't want to be on the video because she looks terrible. Well, when she dolls herself up, you guys will see her. But I have Bible and exercise. But don't get discouraged. Okay, because I've redefined my definition of exercise. Before, if it wasn't, jumping up and down, sweating, following some kind of intense weight routine, I didn't think of it as exercise. But ever since we've been locked up in the house like we are, and we're not moving as much as we normally move, and I'm not really locked up. I still get out there and do what I got to do. But I feel that my activity level is less than what it was. And since I'm homeschooling independently and I'm not dragging them around as much as I was before, I find myself sitting down a lot more than I did before, which kind of makes me stiff. So my version of exercise is moving. So I love a YouTube channel called Has Fit. There are tons and tons of videos at whatever level you want, and you can combine them however you want. There are stretching exercises, there are warm-up exercises, there are exercises to stretch your neck, stretch your shoulders, arm exercises according to the part of your body that you want to work. So that's Has Fit, HASFIT on YouTube. So I'll select a video from them, or I'll select a video. I've lately also enjoyed doing, and I'm gonna look at my laptop so I could tell you the right one. I enjoy doing walking videos. I actually like to walk. And so since my goal is just to move, I'll also sometimes do, a walking video from this guy on YouTube also, because it's free. He has ads on his, but I work around the ads. But it's reps to the rhythm. He has dance walking workouts, and so sometimes I'll do that. My goal is to move for at least 15 minutes. Is this something in my eye? All this? No, it's just the light. So my goal is to move for 15 minutes Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I don't pressure myself. I'm healthy, so I exercise. I don't exercise to be healthy. I kind of change my perspective on that. So I'm not afraid of not being healthy if I don't exercise, if I don't do this routine, if I don't do this every day. Oh no, you missed your day. You know, but I do notice that it's beneficial for me to move. And so that's why step one is Bible and exercise. And it feels really good. And I tell myself, you just have to do one thing at a time. And it feels really good to be able to check off that Bible and exercise. I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Sue says, I have always done indoor movement during the winter because it's too cold outside. Yes. Yes. I used to, being shut down really introduced me to the joys of walking through my development and all the connecting developments. I love walking outside, but I don't do it during the cold weather. I can't stand being cold. So me also, I've always worked out inside. And so I have my nice exercise clothes on, y'all, but I'm walking to in place to the music for 15 minutes, or I'm following some kind of has fit arms routine. And I'll show you guys, it's nothing special at all. Right on the floor I have my weights, my light weights, and they're very light. They're very light. They're like 5 pounds and 3 pounds, 5 pound and 3 pound weights that I add to my has fit routine. And I just go according to how I feel. And honestly, I don't push myself all that much. And I used to think that that would mean that I wouldn't be as fit as I was in the past. But when, we were swimming with the girls, we went swimming with them at the beginning of the shutdown. Well, not at the beginning. It was actually in the when did we go? In September. So it wasn't at the beginning. But I was amazed at how much stamina I still had to be in the pool for hours and hours swimming around with them. And so it's working for me. I'm not telling you it's bad to exercise heavily, but if you are not motivated to exercise heavily, don't feel like you can't exercise lightly and still be as successful, because that's what I've given myself permission to do. And so after that, number 2 is part of my 6th graders curriculum is that we have some Bible that we do together every morning. So number 2 for us is Bible. And I actually tell her it has to happen in the morning, but I allow her to dictate when it's going to happen. So once I do that for her, I check it off and I write the passage that we have to read right on my notebook, so I don't have to go and lug out the planner. So I try to plan as much as possible, as much as I can, to make things as easy and as stress-free and as uncomplicated for myself as possible. And I've noticed that it really helps, because if I'm not stressed out and I'm not frustrated, I'm having a lot less meltdowns with the girls during school, and I feel that I feel more confident in front of them because I'm kind of prepared. And they have more confidence in me because I look like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, flying by the seat of your pants because you don't have time to prepare. It's backfired on me so many times in the past. I don't spend a lot of time preparing, but just having that time that I schedule to plan out my week once a week every Thursday. I think, yeah, I do it every Thursday. I do it every Thursday. I suggest the girls do it every Thursday, but if they want to do it on Friday, since that's our freestyle day, I allow them to do it on Friday also. Having that has really helped me to stay ahead of the meltdowns and the bad attitudes that the girls and I can have around school, because even I don't feel like doing it every day, but I just follow the plan. I just do the next thing. And before I know it, my attitude follows that. Okay. And so number 3, I assign my daughter math. Okay. She has a separate math curriculum. She has a Becca. It also comes with a schedule. And I assign it to her because I've learned that with math, I need to go not according to what the schedule is saying necessarily, but according to where she is. And so if she gets a concept, we move on. Like, I don't make her do every single problem if she really understands what it is. And likewise, if she needs more practice, I make her practice more. Sometimes she does more than one lesson a day. Sometimes she does one lesson a day. As a result, she's almost done with this, with sixth grade math, and it's only January. Okay, we're on lesson 149, and the last lesson is lesson 170. Okay, so that's worked really well for me with math. So that's a Becca math for her. And so after assigning her math, then I do grading. And that's the biggest change I have to thank Toll for. Okay, because of the shutdown, we had to move to an electronic online grading system on ThinkWave. You can look at it if you're interested. You know, it's thinkwave.com. I don't know how well this is going to work for me to hold up my laptop for you to look at, but this is our ThinkWave page on thinkwave.com. It's free. You can upgrade and pay. You want to come say hey? You can upgrade and pay. I just use the free system if you want more functions. This is my youngest. This is Rayma. This is my sixth grader. She's starting her school. Did you unload?
No.
She has a chore of unloading the dishwasher first thing in the morning. She doesn't like to do it. Sometimes I'll let her do it in whatever order, as long as everything gets done. So I use ThinkWave. That's something else that I never used to do before. I used to fly by the seat of my pants before. But using ThinkWave, I was able to actually sit down and structure my grading for each subject. You know, how much is homework going to count for? Homework being independent work, since we're always homeschooling, we're always doing homework. But I think of anything that they do, which is an assignment that they're working on independently, I think of it as homework. So how much of this class is going to be for homework? How much of this class is going to be for whatever test or quiz that I give? And I don't give tests and quiz in every subject, but I do give them in, for example, for math, we have tests and quiz for math. So let's say for math, maybe I'm saying homework is worth 60%. You know, quizzes are worth 25%, and then maybe tests are worth 25%, and maybe the quizzes are worth whatever's left. What's that, 15%? You know, that's what the quizzes are worth, and that's how I determine what grade they get for math. Well, using ThinkWave, as long as I set that up, you know, in this program, you know, all I have to do is go in and input what they get for all of those things. You know, if you want to do a percent system, or if you want to do a point system, I go in once a week and I input, you know, what they did, what their grade was. And literally this program generates, you know, a grade for them, for me in that class. And I learned this at Toll because when we did the shutdown, I used that for my class so that it was a way for the parents to be able to see, you know, how their kids are doing, where their kids are, because you can share this website with parents. But what I like about it as a homeschooler is it really tracks attendance for me because I'm inputting everything. And I can generate any kind of report I need. I can generate a report and give them report cards. I could generate a report if I need to give a report to a school. I can generate things that are like transcripts. I mean, and it's all free, okay? And you can upgrade and pay and have even more features, but this works for me. So my daughter has access into it. Both of my daughters do, and so does my husband. So every quarter I give them a report card so they know how they're doing and they know what they need to improve on, and they see where they are. And it's also a way for them to track, I didn't get this assignment, I didn't get that assignment. So in some ways this sounds complicated, and it sounds a lot like I'm running this like a school in my house. And one of the benefits of homeschooling I felt in the beginning was that by not having to do this, I was free from that. But for me, I find that by doing this, I'm a lot more organized and better able to articulate with someone else exactly it is that I'm doing. And I'm also better able to articulate with my kids where they are and what we're doing. And in some ways it helps them to take what they're doing more seriously because they can see how one assignment affects their grade. Because this particular program keeps a running total of where you are in the class and what grade you have. Like right next to the grade you input is how it affects your average. So they have a stronger sense of where they are if they choose to look at it. And I can always refer them to it. And they can also see what improvements they need to make, okay, if things are not going well. And so if I had never taught at Toll, I probably never would have really felt compelled to use this, but I saw how useful it was in a classroom setting and thought it could be useful at home as well, and it has been. So every Wednesday I input this and on a day by day basis as they submit things that might not be weekly assignments, I input it and I try to keep it going, in real time. And so the fourth thing I have on my list is grading. So I had Bible and exercise, Rhema, which is my youngest Bible, assigned Rhema math, grading. And then the next thing is something I jumped in with 2 feet, starting this summer. I wanted my kids to do French. I'm from, if you don't know my background, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know my background because I've talked about it on this channel before, but I was born in Haiti. My first language was not English, it was French, believe it or not. My parents lived in Montreal first, where I was in school. My first language is French, you guys. And so even though all my memories are in English, we came to New York when I was 6, and so I had a little bit of school in French, but I spoke French fluently, and so I've wanted that to be it's part of my kids' heritage. So I've wanted to use that. But y'all, while I have 100% comprehension in French, I don't necessarily remember the grammar. When you don't speak a language that you can lose the verbal mechanics of it. Even if you have comprehension when someone speaks to you, it can be hard for you to speak back. And also, I had the vocabulary of a very young child when I spoke French. And so it's been significantly challenging to teach my kids French. I'm getting up to show y'all the curriculum that I'm using. I actually got this curriculum, and I'm getting the schedules for you guys. I actually got this curriculum from Abeka, believe it or not. I liked it because it's a curriculum unlike any I've ever seen. Usually there's a lot of video curriculums that you can do. What's Rosetta Stone is the common one. I'm doing a live, Nika. My oldest daughter is up. She's not looking happy. She's not happy and peppy like I am first thing in the morning. But so I didn't want to do a video one. I wanted to do something I could interact with them with, partly because I wanted to brush up on my own French and I wanted to get better in French, which is one of the things I think is really good about homeschooling. You can learn things. You can pursue interests. And so, but it's been challenging, you guys. It's been challenging, but it's been good. So this is French 1 for my youngest, and this is French 2 for my high school sophomore. She had French 1 at Toll, at the umbrella school. And so she would have been discouraged to start at French 1. And she does have really good retention. And so it wouldn't have been appropriate to start at French 1, but French 2, French 2, hi, and Roberts. French 2 has been challenging for me, okay? It's been challenging. But the way it works is I'm following a schedule It comes with a schedule, but I do it my way. It took me a while to kind of abandon you know, doing it exactly the way they hi and Roberts, doing it exactly the way they've set it up to do. But I've had to adapt the curriculum. Oh, Jeremiah took French with you too? Jeremiah took French and now May is too. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Those are her two kids. Yeah, it's hard to teach. The weakness I find with this curriculum, in case you're looking or thinking about a foreign language curriculum, the way it's written to a teacher in a school. The curriculum is written to a teacher in a school. If you're not aware, Becca is taught at an actual school. It's a curriculum that's also taught at a school, but has also been designed so that you can homeschool your kids with it. But this particular curriculum, the way I read through it, it feels like it's written to the teacher of the school only, mostly. Even though there is some mention made to homeschooling and the homeschool teacher, I feel like it flows more like what would happen in a school. And all the advice that they give on how to use the curriculum is better adapted to a school setting. Okay? So I had to overcome that and adapt that, work with that and change it so that it would work with me working with one student one-on-one, at home. Initially, what my thought was is that since my goal was really conversational mastery more so than grammar mastery, if that makes any sense, I want them to learn to speak the language. If they're not amazing at writing French or understanding French grammar beyond what they need to know to speak properly, I'm okay with that. So because of that, one of the books, actually both of them come with tests. I don't give tests. I don't give the tests that come with the book. Instead, I orally assess them, through the conversation exercises that are in here and the verbal things that we do. That's how I assess them. I make them write with the practice exercises that come in the books. I make them write, but I grade that more like homework, and I grade the assessments more like tests in how I look and how I work with them, and so this has been challenging because it's written, even French 1 is at a high school level. The expectation I feel is that at least enough grammar to be in high school. And I'm using this with my sixth grader who's really good at grammar for sixth grade. And so I've had to kind of keep that in mind and work with her with that in mind. And so I actually prep for French, y'all. I get up in here and I look and I see whatever it is it says on the schedule that we need to do for the day. And then I literally go through all the pages that we're going to be going through in the book. There's a general textbook that comes with this, and there's also a vocabulary manual that comes with this. And I go through it first so that I know what's coming, because it's written so that you could fly through the seat of your pants. But if you fly through the seat of your pants, what I've noticed happens to me is that I'll be sitting in French and I'll be reading through it with my daughter, and I'll be like, what, what does this mean? And then right in the time I'm supposed to be tutoring her, I'm like trying to figure it out. And she's sitting there like, you don't know it? Well, how am I supposed to know it? You're my teacher. Or, I'll be reading it and I'll try to cover up. I'll realize that I don't know something. And I might not want to let my daughter know that I don't know, but she could feel that something's off. I might be short. I might be tense. These are all ways that things go south. Yes, and Roberts, we're both learning. But guess what? That's how it is in real life too. We just don't realize our teacher doesn't know everything necessarily. I learned that as a teacher. I don't know everything. I prepare as much as I can, but you'll always have that kid that asks you something you didn't think of, or you didn't know, or you didn't look into. And I've actually learned that it's part of being a good teacher is to allow your students to know you might not know everything. That the point is not to know everything. The point is to know how to go find the answers and how to look for the answers. And that's what I try to teach my kids. But in prepping, at least I can approach them with some level of confidence, and I don't get blindsided during the lesson, and I don't waste time having to figure something out during the lesson. By the time I sit with them, I know what to expect when we go through it. And every once in a while, my 10th grader is really bright. So more often than not, she'll point out something that I might not have seen. And my attitude toward that is not, oh no, I blew it. Why didn't I know that? That's not my attitude. My attitude is, wow, that's a really good insight. And if I can answer her, I will. And if I can't, I'll tell her, you know what, I'm going to look into that because I didn't consider that when I was preparing this. And they see my diligence in preparing, and I'm modeling for them, how to work through their stuff. Thanks. And Robert says, that's good. Thank you. Trial and error. I've learned that. And so I'll have that prep time. And so one of the things we've worked through this year, and we've come up with one system, changed it, come up with another system. See, my oldest daughter, she even put her hood on her hoodie. That's how much she wants to be in the video. I told y'all I will not violate their privacy. They can be in the video if they want, or they don't have to. But you see the back of her hooded head. She is here for school this morning. And so, what was I saying? So what we had to figure out, how much French do I do? Because this is a 5-day schedule that comes with the curriculum, and I've made up my mind. We're not going through this from cover to cover just to be able to check all the boxes and say that we did every single thing that's in this book. We will diligently go through it step by step, not moving on to the next step until we've mastered the step we've given. And when I'm done, I'll count it done, and I'll count it successful. That's how I'm looking at French. And so, so what we came up with based on all of the activities we don't have a lot of activities, y'all. We ain't shut down like y'all. But based on what our week looks like, what we have concluded is that we do French Monday through Wednesday, where I spend a half an hour every day with each kid. There she is. I spend a half an hour every day with each kid. And then on Thursday and Friday, I have a playlist that's even open to the public here on my channel of supplementary French videos. Feel free to use those. I allow them to choose what videos they want to watch. And the videos, you want to say, hey, you look beautiful.
Hi.
That's Anika, my 10th grader. I let them choose 30 minutes worth of how many videos they want to watch. Some of them are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 4 minutes, and they're based on topic. And so they go through those, and also they have the option of watching a movie dubbed in French. Oh, this is Mrs. Smith. I forgot. Mrs. Smith is on this live from Toll.
Hi.
You were like her can I tell her?
Sure.
You were like her favorite teacher at Toll. Roberts asked, do you already speak French? I'm from Haiti, and Roberts, French is my first language. I actually lived in Montreal with my family and was speaking French before we came to America, but when we came to America as immigrants to succeed in school, there was a hard push, English, and I was 6 when I started school here in America, and, only speak English. And so My verbal is rusty from lack of use, but I have 100% comprehension, at least for the vocabulary of a 6-year old in French. So I can pretty much understand what you're saying to me in French. And so actually doing this program has actually enhanced my vocabulary, which has been helpful. And it's kind of taught me a little bit of the grammar behind why things are structured the way they're structured in French. Because what I've had the struggle with is because I understand French, but I haven't been speaking French. When I try to speak French, I try to do a word for word translation in English. And if you know anything about French grammar, you know things are not structured that way. And that's been my biggest struggle in speaking. And so it does help that I can read French fluently and I can understand French. And there's vocabulary that goes with this. So that's why I'm able to do it. I'm not suggesting that a parent who doesn't speak any French could do this. No, you do need to be able to speak French to do this, to teach your kid French. This is not one of those cases where, you could just pick up the curriculum and go. This curriculum assumes that you can read and understand French. Okay? It's written in English, but the French work is done in such a way that if you didn't know any French, you wouldn't be able to do this. And so so this is one of those cases with homeschool where as an individual, this is a strength that I have, that I bring to the table, that I can use in homeschool. So that doesn't mean that if you're homeschooling and you don't speak a foreign language, you can't have foreign language in your curriculum with your kid, but you may need a different kind of resource. You may need to use Rosetta Stone. You may need to use Duolingo. You may need to get online and get an online French class. Okay? Just because you're using another resource doesn't mean you're not homeschooling. It's not homeschool. You're organizing your kids' academics. It doesn't mean you have to do everything specifically yourself, but you can do what you can do based on your strengths and what you know to do. So since I understand French, I've decided to do it this way. But I'll be honest with you, beyond this year, definitely for this daughter right here, like I wouldn't try to go on and teach French 3. I think this is probably going to be my limit for the best service I could do to her. Beyond this year, I would look on the potterschool.org or some kind of online resource, or if there were classes in real life, I would pass this on to someone else because I feel that this is as far as I could go. I could probably take my youngest daughter through French 2, and then I'll be good. I'll be good. I know my limitations, and I don't have one set way of doing things. So can I ask you some questions about your school day? Is anyone back here interested in me asking them some questions about their school day? Okay, my youngest has consented. So this is her. She's sitting out. You can sit at your desk. Well, you want to share a little bit with everybody what you're doing right now?
So first thing I do for my
This is her planner.
First thing I do is I read Psalms, and then I'll write something down about what it means to me and in my journal. And so that's the first thing I do for school. And
yeah, so that's what she's doing. Now, that's something that I came up with a long time ago with my oldest two, that we do Bible. We do Bible first thing because we lend that importance. We want to give God the opportunity. If he wants us to know something first thing in the morning, if we want to lay something at his feet first thing in the morning, I already share with you that that's what I do. That's what I encourage my kids to do. But I don't want it to be a burden to them. So can I see your book? I'm not going to make them look at what you wrote. I just want them to see that it's just a regular notebook. So this is just a regular, you know how these cost like 88 cents when the during the back to school supply sale? I buy like 50,000 of these every year. Do y'all do that? I buy a lot of these. It says, and Robert says, what time are you starting? what's crazy is how the US is so English, but wants you to learn a language. Yeah, that's true. We don't do too good with foreign languages and Roberts. Um, what do you mean? What time am I starting? Are you asking what time I start homeschool? I start homeschool at 8:30, if that's what you're asking. But anyway, I get these blank notebooks, and what I did for Bible is I didn't want them to just read the verse and move on. I wanted them to read the verse and wait, let God deal with you. Like, if or what do you think about what you read? And so they don't have to write a lot. They can write one line, two lines, three lines. I really don't care. But what I do want you to do is take the time to meditate a little bit or get something out of what you read, or even if you have a question about what you read, write it down. And then I go through and I look at it every day. What I did with them is they each have these bins that I keep on top of my youngest daughter's desk. These bins have their names on it. I bought these bins from Walmart, I think. If not Walmart, Office Staples, but I'm pretty sure this came from Walmart. And I wrote their names and taped it to the box. And they put everything that they did that day inside the bin. Okay? And this might be a little juvenile, but my kids enjoy it. Instead of just going through and checking everything and all they have are blue and red check marks all over their books, I thought it might be fun to use stickers. So I went to the dollar store and I just have these little thumbs up stickers. And so I'll put a thumbs up sticker, and the thumbs up sticker means I looked at it, I read it. And sometimes they'll say something that really challenges that's really a nice, yeah, stickers are the bomb, they're so cheap. And the Susan saying, yes, stickers. Kids love stickers. I don't know why, but they love stickers, and I like to put stickers on their work. So let me show you my little sticker collection. I got this from the dollar store also. It says, you're smart, well done, great job, woohoo. Okay. I got this from the dollar store, the emoticon stickers. And when I do their planner, I'll put these stickers. Like, I'll put the angry face sticker up in there if I know we're coming back from break and they don't feel like doing school. Okay, or whatever. I got these stickers, happy face stickers. Even if they get a low grade on a test, this is not school out there in the world where, you're condemned because you had an off day. I'll still put a happy face sticker, and I'll encourage them to do test correction so that they could figure out what they did wrong. Because my goal is not, you need to be perfect. My goal is you do need to master this work with excellence. But you don't lose favor with me because I'm still your mom. I'm your teacher, but I'm your mom. You don't lose favor with me because you didn't perform well. Whether you didn't perform well because you didn't study and it's your fault, or you didn't perform well because you're having a bad day. You don't lose favor with me. Let's get back on track. The goal is for you to master this material. What do we need to do for you to master this material? And so that's why you still get a happy face. And next to the happy face, please do these test corrections and let me know how I can help you to do better. Let me see if I have any other kind of stickers. I haven't really used these heart stickers, but I have these also. Yeah. And so anyway, I do, and I asked my oldest daughter if what she think about the stickers. Is it a little too babyish because she's in high school? And she told me the stickers are cool. I'll just give you an example of how I use the stickers. This is my planner, and this was the week we came back from Christmas break. And I picked the overwhelmed face, and I crossed it out to tell myself, you got this, girl, you got this, you can do this. you know, encourage myself, turn that frown upside down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might seem juvenile, but honestly, look, when I got up that day and I looked at the page, it was an acknowledgement that, oh man, break is over. Got to get back to work. This is hard. That's okay. You're not a loser because this is hard and you can do it. You got this. Just do the next thing. Just follow the steps. You'll be okay. And so I found that to be really encouraging. And so I do that in their stuff, in the master planner that I showed you guys earlier, that each of them have. You know, I use the stickers in the master planner when they're going to plan. If it's for science, they don't feel like planning for science, they don't feel like doing it, you know. I use a sticker that might reflect you know, how they're feeling. And sometimes the sticker is showing a negative emotion, but it's kind of validating. You know, we're not being diligent because it's easy and we like it all the time. And I'm acknowledging you might not feel like it. I don't feel like it all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's encouraging. You know, so I use the cheap dollar store stickers. You could come up with some other way. Notes to your kids. I see notes in lunch boxes. And Robert says laugh aloud is fun. Yeah, stickers are fun. You know, they make notes that you could put in your kids' lunch boxes if you're sending them to school, for the people that can go to school these days. That's the same idea, you know. And so I do it through my homeschool. My goal is to promote a relaxed atmosphere. We're not stressed out. I'm not stressed, and you don't have to be stressed. You did bad on the test. Okay, I'm not mad. I'm not stressed. So why are you stressed? Why are you scared to take the test? Just take the test. And whatever you don't know, that just means we have to work on it. It doesn't mean you're bad at this subject. It doesn't mean, you're in trouble. You're not, nobody's in trouble. I'm your mom. We're home. We're working to, all these negative things, that maybe we experienced ourselves growing up, however it is we learned. I'm trying to break that. And I'm not saying these feelings don't come over me, these worries, these concerns don't come over me, but I challenge them. I'm homeschooling because I want to create a different environment, a different atmosphere. And it's been very effective, you guys. I've been busy, so I haven't been posting, but I've been well. I've been well. I really wanted to do this live this morning, right in the midst of everything that's going on, to let you know you don't see me, but it's not because I'm not well. I've been well. I've been experiencing a lot of peace. I've actually been feeling very blessed that I can homeschool, that I can create this environment, that I can structure things this way, and that I can guard my peace. You know what I'm saying? And so what I've done after back to the schedule, after we do French prep, we have French. My youngest goes first at 11, and then my oldest gets her lesson at 11:30 Monday through Wednesday. Okay, and then after French on my schedule, we do read alouds. Okay, I know this is very different from what is done in maybe public school and private school, but one thing that's really valued with homeschool is actually reading to your kids. Both of my girls can read very well, but the idea of reading a story out loud to your kids, kind of like, not only does it give me a chance to spend that time with my kids and to actually be reading a book while they're reading a book, so that we can talk about the book, talk about the characters, talk about the plot, talk about, rising action, falling action, character development, all the different literary terms, because it's easier for me because I'm actually reading the book to them. It actually gives them a skill to be able to listen to somebody and follow what they're saying. That kind of skill that's necessary in a business meeting, that's necessary, when you're listening to any kind of lecture. I guess this could also work by letting them listen to a book through Audible. Oh, you love that book. Yes, Sunlight. You know Sunlight. Yes, we're doing Sunlight this year with both of my daughters. This is part of their Sunlight book list. And I'm reading this aloud to my high school student. And when I just since she's been using an umbrella school, which is a little bit more like a school structure, when I told her I was doing this read aloud, she was looking at me like, "Why do you need to read to me? I can read to myself." And but I find it to be very valuable because they're both reading independent readers on top of this, and they're reading their own chapters in their history books and in their science books. I don't have time to read everything that they're reading. What I do is I look into their work on an as needed basis. The structure that we have set up for homeschool is that they go through their work independently, okay? And if they run into something and the curriculum is set up to run like the child is learning independently, they read, they go through these activities to reinforce what they've read. There's study guides in subjects where there are tests that they finish. You're grading what they're doing independently all along. When you run into something that they don't do well, you may then decide to have a tutorial session with them to address that. So in that case, if it's something that I know, I can fly by the seat of my pants. But if it's something that I don't know, then I have to go and read and look through their stuff so that I'm able to work with them or use another resource. Go use Khan's Academy. Go on YouTube. You watch a YouTube video on it. YouTube is an excellent supplement, you guys. As you can see from my French playlist that I have made public on my channel. Go on YouTube, look at a supplement, supplement with YouTube to try to understand that idea or that topic. And so, lost my train of thought a little bit, but what I tend to do is it's more of a tutorial model as needed, but they're learning independently, which is one thing that has worked really well with my oldest three. My oldest graduated from college with honors, and my 18-year-old is in college now, and the transition from high school to college was seamless, easy for them because they're already used to learning that way. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't get introduced to that until college, and so, that's one difference with homeschooling as opposed to traditional schooling. And so I've had to this year learn to adapt my expectations to how my kids want this to happen. Okay, because my preference would be to get up there, and lecture and get up there and have this long conversation and discussion one-on-one to make sure they understand everything that they're not understanding. But I've learned that my kids don't want to talk to me like that. They don't want to be lectured to me like that. It actually works better, for me to refer my this one. She prefers if it's math, there's a video lecture, but there's also a lesson written out in the teacher's manual. She would prefer to look at that lesson herself and try to get it, or give her the answer key for that question and let her look at it and try to get it. If all else fails and she looked at it and she read it and she still can't get it, then she might want to talk to me. But am I right?
Yes.
Could you come tell them how you do me?
I just like to be independent.
Yeah, she don't want to hear my lecture. She don't, my lecture that was so great when I was teaching somewhere else. She don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Why are you talking so long? And honestly, you guys, Susan said May is the same way. She is. She don't want to hear that. You're all excited thinking that you gonna tell them they're gonna get it now, but they're like, why are you still talking? So this year we have had, and I'm not saying every kid is that way. Every kid is not that way. Like my sixth grader, she wants me to sit and explain it to her. She doesn't want to, like, right? You want me to explain math?
It depends on, because I watch a lesson for math, and then the teacher that I'm watching, he'll explain it. If I have a question, then I'll ask my mom to explain it, but usually
it doesn't happen very much. I mean, I think my girls are bright, and they do understand and grasp the topics easily, and so they are able to work independently. So don't be discouraged if you feel like, well, my kid can't even, he can't even get to the next, next assignment without me helping them. I'm just saying, then do help them. Do whatever works for you. Your kid may want to hear you explain it to them or lecture them, or maybe you might have a problem that you have a kid that doesn't even want to try to work independently. That's another problem to deal with, and in a completely different approach that needs to be taken to resolve it. But on my part, I had to learn to leave my kids alone. And if they need me, they will come to me. And let my first correction be, if they wrote an essay, write what needs to be changed on the essay. And have the conversation in writing back and forth, and keep your words as few as possible. Okay? I've learned that that's what works for us. And it was very difficult because I thought that as a homeschooling parent, it was my responsibility to give them a lecture, that I was depriving them of learning a subject by not lecturing them, because when I was in school, I always received lectures, and that's the only way that you can learn. Okay, but I've come to learn that a lecture is one way that you can digest and have the information presented to you. Okay, if you read the information or watch somebody else's video, those are also all authentic ways. And as a homeschooling parent, I don't necessarily have to be the one that's doing everything myself, if that makes any sense. So allow your student to lead you. Let your student lead you, and go with what works for both of you, and not necessarily what your expectation calls for. There doesn't necessarily need to be a battle that happens to make it happen, to make it line up with what your expectation is, if that's not what's working with your kid. That's one big success I've had this year. More so than I've had in any of the other previous years. I don't know if you hear noise, but my oldest daughter has descended. The one that's in college. She's in college, but her school is online. Her school is online right now. And so she's home. And she also has a job. She works for Starbucks, which is awesome. Really close to our house, which is a tremendous blessing. And so they're all having their little morning chit chat in the room, in the kitchen right now. So it's the middle of school. School has already started. You saw them. They started their schoolwork, and now they're in the kitchen talking. That's the benefit of homeschooling. This is the more relaxed environment that I want to promote. My husband's working from home. His office is in the basement. Part of what you hear is that he also came upstairs. We have a coffee station. Snacks, well, whatever he came upstairs for. They heard him come upstairs. They're having a little chat with Dad. I love that. I love that. What my rule is, as long as you get through your work, I don't care what it looks like, as long as you get through your work, and they get through their work. Okay, they get through their work because they know they can't just stop work before they're done with all of their work, and so it's up to them whether they want to be done, at 3 o'clock or at 2 o'clock, or if they want to be done at midnight. I really don't care. Just make sure it happens today. Okay, and so they're self-motivated to get back on track and to stay on track. Now, I do tell them, get back to work, get back to work, get back to work if it goes too far. but ultimately they're self-motivated to get back to work, and that kills the stress for me, as well, you guys. So we do the read alouds where I read to them, and there's a very aggressive read aloud schedule for Sunlight. I mean, I don't know who is able to read through the amount of pages that they assign daily. And in the beginning, I was really trying to do it, but then I realized, you know what? And Robert says they won't be surprised in college. That's right. They won't. They're very ready for college. Very ready for college. But I was killing myself trying to maintain the schedule. And then I took matters into my own hand and I said, you know what? We're going to do it at our pace. And if we read fewer books, I'd rather read fewer books well than kill myself in misery trying to read for an hour or however. I don't know how long. I think they want it to take about an hour. I don't want to read for an hour. I read for more like 25 minutes, 30 minutes if it's really good and I can't put the book down and I want to know what's going to happen next. Like with this book. This book is what my sixth graders read aloud is. Okay? It's about a little boy during Stalin's rule and how, his perception is very different from what you would think being in America looking at them. Susan Smith says Jeremiah was an auditory learner and he always wanted to keep reading while playing with his Legos. I miss those days. Yes, that's a good point, Susan, because what I do during read alouds is I allow them to do something that keep their hands busy. Coloring, playing with Legos is a good one. Whatever to keep your hands busy while I'm reading. But some of my girls just listen. They don't even do anything. They just listen to me while I'm reading. And it also models for them how to read. So if my girls are ever asked to read publicly, I've noticed they read really well. This read aloud part of the curriculum also came with these books of poetry, and you were supposed to read this and read the poetry, but help me somebody. I'm not poetry, though. At least that poetry, that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't enjoy it. And so we just dropped poetry. And since we do a lot of Bible, a lot of the Bible is set up, a lot of the books of the Bible are poetic. And so I don't feel like we're completely missing out on the poetry because we read aloud. Like right now we're reading aloud Job. That's serious poetry. We're good. So I literally dropped the poetry. My girls have had years of poetry. Even if I'm not doing it now, it's good. I feel that it's all good for me. Anyway, I get it. I understand why it's part of the curriculum and why people think it's important. But that was an executive decision on my part. We don't do the poetry. But we're enjoying these read alouds. And these are award-winning books. And I think right now, I'll be honest, like my younger daughter is enjoying this one because it's a lot of suspense. It's more of a thrill ride. I appreciate this one as an adult and for the artistic way the information is being conveyed. It's not my daughter's favorite book. So that's okay. Part of it is modeling for them. And I remember being that age and reading the same exact book and not appreciating it. Some of appreciating it comes from being an adult and being more aware of what's going on than they are at the stage of life that they're in. And so I still stay encouraged for that. So you guys, I really wanted to come on here and share some of my morning with you. Obviously, I can't share my actual morning because what I'd be doing right now is grading. I wouldn't be talking. What I'd be doing right now is prepping for French. I wouldn't be over here talking about prepping for French. So in order for me to be able to actually get through my school day, I'm going to have to end this live and actually do the work and not only talk about doing the work, but it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. And please let me know in the comments. Hopefully the comments are on. Let me know in the comments if there are any videos that you're welcome. And Robert says, thanks. Glad to have an insight. You're welcome. Let me know if there are any video topics you'd like to see from me from me this year. I'll consider it. Sue says it was so nice seeing your friend. I miss you so much. I miss you too. I miss you too. It was not. Thank you so much for joining the live. I'm always blessed when people that I know in my everyday life here in person, join me on this YouTube channel. It just makes the world shrink. It's a small world. Yes. Oh, yes. We have one video idea. This daughter right here has a very fun hobby of making videos. And I really enjoy her sense of humor, and I really enjoy the videos that she puts together and her editing. And so I promised her that this week I would allow her to do a channel takeover, and I would put up a video that she did or two. So I am planning to do it, but just letting you know that that's coming. Okay, so that might be fun to let her do a channel takeover. Oh, and Robert says, yay! So you have a thumbs up. So get it ready. Okay. We're gonna do it. In fact, we'll do it this afternoon. We'll edit it. See, Sue says, yes, I would love to see that. Awesome. See, you got some encouragement. Yay! So we have to really do it. So you have to finish your schoolwork so we can do it. We could do it today. Because the video's already edited. I just have to upload it. And,
I just have to think of the one I'm
and maybe do an intro. So she goes, yay! See, you're getting a clap. You're getting a clap. Oh, you came to grace our channel to say goodbye. Yeah, so we're going to and Robert says she can't wait. We're going to get to work. Okay, but this is what our school day looks like. This is what our school looks like. And we're open to reorganizing and changing things if it doesn't work. If it's not working. That's the beauty of homeschooling. So we're doing well, you guys. We hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget, God's in control. God's in control. Nothing that's happening out there today is a surprise to God. Yep. Not only is it not a surprise to God, his plan is not going to fail. His plan is in motion. If you are a son, if you are a daughter of God, know that you are safe in his plan. Yeah. Okay? Even unto death, you are safe in his plan because he's conquered death. Okay, you guys, I just want to encourage you with that because I'm encouraged with that. That's what I'm holding on to. That's why I'm not losing my mind when I turn on the news and, people say off-color things to me in real life. You know what I'm saying? God is in control and God is good. Okay? Amen. Love you guys. Love you guys. Be blessed.